could even process what he saw, he lost his head. Because of the extreme amount of air pressure being thrown at his body at the moment,
most painful extreme sports deaths by Talking Hat. Link will be in the description below.
20 seconds. In the summer of 2013, in the Swiss Alps near Martigny, one of the world's most daring stuntmen prepared for what should have been another breathtaking descent. His name was Mark Sutton. He's a professional parachutist best known for his role in the London 2012 Olympics opening ceremony, where he famously jumped into the stadium dressed as James Bond alongside the Queen. But this time, his jump would not end with applause. Sutton launched himself into the sky in a wingsuit, soaring across the mountain valley. For 20 exhilarating seconds, he glided like a bird, cutting through the air speeds over 120 miles per hour. It was a sight few people on Earth would ever get to experience. But then, in an instant, it was gone. At 20 seconds into the flight, Sutton lost control. His trajectory veered off the correct pathway, and before he could recover, he slammed into the side of the mountain. When they found him, his body was unrecognizable, and they were only able to confirm that it was him through DNA scans. Investigators later examined footage of the jump to understand what went wrong. Nobody knows if it was a miscalculation, a heavy gust of wind, or simply the razor-thin margin of error that comes with flying inches from the ground in a wingsuit. No matter the cause, the outcome was the same. One of the sport's most skilled pioneers had paid the ultimate price, and there was no bringing him back. Friends described him as fearless, committed, and unforgettable, a man who had lived his life in moments that most people could only dream of. But in extreme sport,
Bro, R.I.P. to that man, bro, because I could never. I love the ground. I'm good.
Sports, even 20 seconds can be enough to determine your fate. Imagine clinging to the side of a speeding train. You climb to the roof with its steel rattling beneath your feet, wind screaming in your ears, and with your body being pumped full of adrenaline. That's train surfing, one of the most dangerous extreme sports out there.
No.
Although in reality, it's more reckless thrill-seeking than an actual officialized sport. It started decades ago in places.
Why do people do dumb stuff, bro? It's like I get the little adrenaline rush or whatever, but you only get lucky once.
Like South Africa, Russia, and Germany, spreading worldwide as a dangerous daredevil subculture. One of the most prominent areas train surfing has become a part of is New York. On a Saturday afternoon in the Greenwich Village, down in the tunnels of the West 4th Street subway station, trains thundered through the darkness, with their steel frames rattling the walls as they sped past. For most, it was just another commute, but for one man, it was his opportunity to go train surfing. Police say he had been riding on the outside of a southbound F train as it tore through the tunnels. For a few moments, he clung to the side of the moving car, then he climbed to the top, where he felt the rush of air and the roar of the tracks giving him a thrill like none other. I'm pretty sure most of you have played Subway Surfers at least once in your life. Whenever you hop on top of a train and make the mistake of hitting a tunnel, you'll fly off in a cartoonish manner where you're then arrested by that big back that's chasing you. You get a good laugh at it, then you play the game again. Yeah, it's nowhere near as hilarious in real life. It's horrible, as you could assume from this extremely dangerous and stupid sport. While the man finished climbing to the top of the train to get a gust of fresh air, he'd get more than he bargained for. A tunnel showed up, and before the man could even process what he saw, he lost his head. Because of the extreme amount of air pressure being thrown at his body at the moment, he fell and was caught underneath the train. At 3:11 p.m., a 911 call came in. Someone said they had seen a man slip beneath.
Oh my god. See, this is why you don't do shit like this for the sport. It's not for the shits and giggles.
Beneath the subway earlier. And sure enough, when officers arrived, they found him under the train with his body decapitated. Whatever adrenaline he had been chasing ended instantly, and it was replaced by silence and horror. For the unfortunate commuters forced to pass the site, it was a grim reminder of the dangers lurking in the city's underground. But for police, it was just another entry in a long list of subway surfing tragedies. Quick little moments of thrill that collapse into traumatic memories that both strangers and loved ones alike will never forget. The adrenaline is never worth the risk. Your body is priceless.
Yeah, y'all be playing with your lives, man. Y'all gotta stop. Listen, you gotta sit down.
And while we're on the topic, the same goes for your mind. The whole reason I make these stickmen videos is so that you don't have to witness the real thing. Don't go searching for these videos online. The effect it has on your brain is horrible. especially if you're young. Traumatizing yourself isn't worth it, and trust me, I can promise you that. The slamming incident. High in the Swiss Alps, the snow glistened under a cold April sky. For a young 21-year-old world champion snowboarder, this was more than a mountain. It was her playground, her stage, and most of all, her destiny. She had conquered countless competitions and had practically carved her name into the world of snowboarding. But on this day, the mountain carved back. The woman was being filmed for a project, showcasing her incredible skill as she cut across the steep alpine slopes. The cameras rolled.
Shout out to the people who can do stuff like this. Like, literally, hats off to you, bro. Because, you either do it for, the fun of the game, or, as a hobby, or just a little rush. But to the people who do it, as a job, or, professionally, hats off.
Her board sliced through the powder, and everything seemed perfect. Then, without warning, the snow itself began to move. A lot. In the blink of an eye, an avalanche broke loose. Tons of snow and ice thundered down the mountain, faster than any snowboarder could ever outrun. It should be known that on average, avalanches move at about 80 miles per hour. At that speed, that's enough force to topple any building, rock, or tree caught in its path, most of which are moving along with
She might be cooked.
the avalanche whenever it's crashing down a mountain. It slammed into the woman with the force of a speeding vehicle, and she was swallowed by it instantly. Rocks, debris, branches, and heavy ice carved and tore at her body as she was dragged through the snow until its eventual finishing slump. Finally, the avalanche stopped, but the woman was missing. She laid buried alive deep within the frozen chaos, crushed and disfigured. Rescue teams rushed in, digging through the snow and desperately searching for her. But by the time they found her, it was already too late. Even with safety gear and avalanche detectors, the force was overwhelming. This woman, once one of the brightest and youngest stars in snowboarding, was gone in
Damn, she was only 21? Oh my.
seconds. Even champions are fragile against nature. If you're an outdoorsy person like me, always be alert of its dangers. The Red Bull incident. The arena was packed and its air was alive with cheers and the violent rhythm of tradition. In the center, a matador faced down his opponent. Not another fighter, not another man, but a bull weighing more than half a ton, bred for power, speed, and fury. At first, the fight went as expected. The matador waved down his red cape and the bull charged. As you'd guess,
Yo, real quick though, again, hats off to the people who could do stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? If they can run with bull, shout out.
in the background, the crowd
But also R.I.P.
roared at each narrow escape. With over 2 decades of experience in the ring, this 39-year-old Spanish bullfighter was known as one of the best to do it in his time. He'd toss his cape to one side, effortlessly thwarting the bull's charge. Then he'd do it again, to make the crowd go wild. But then, in a heartbeat, the balance shifted. He'd put up his cape again for the bull to charge past him, but unexpectedly, it caught him. The bull slammed into the matador's face with a force that was so brutal that the horn struck him in his skull, fracturing upward through his jaw and out his eye. He was hit directly in the head by a 1,000-pound bull's horn, effectively splitting his face in two. The crowd fell silent as blood poured onto the sand. The matador dangled helplessly, impaled by the animal until it heavily thrashed him off of its horn. The worst part is that the man was fully conscious. He rose back from the ground like a zombie and began screaming that he couldn't see, sending the crowd into a horrific panic. Other bullfighters jumped into the ring to distract the bull and to retrieve the
Oh my god. The people in the crowd. Oh, I feel like I'm about to cry.
man's body. Once again, his face was split in two, his teeth were shattered, his jaw and cheekbone were fractured, and the horn head punctured out his eye and pierced him right through his skull. But, to everyone's complete and total shock, the man actually somehow survived. The horn pierced his skull and was dangerously close to his brain, but it missed. Against all odds, he returned back to the ring less than a year later.
Why, bruh, why do people do stuff like this, get hurt, and then go right back? No. See, me, if I do something and I end up hurting myself, I'm done for the rest.
And he'd continue his passion. Juan Jose Padilla is now known as the Pirate of Bullfighting. In 2018, he'd experienced another horrible incident where he was scalped by a bull. Honestly, this man might just be invincible because he'd somehow survive once more, and he'd return back to the ring again to continue the sport. Extreme
Man, he must love his job.
sports are, well, pretty extreme. And honestly, there's really nothing wrong with living life to the fullest. All I'd say is that adrenaline makes you feel invincible. But reality has no safety net. So, always, at least make sure the risk is worth the reward. As always, have a happy day.
But yo, yeah, hey, listen, y'all need to be careful. You got one life. Relax. Like, comment, subscribe. If you like videos like this, like what videos you would like recommend, or like someone similar to him, take care, stay blessed, be cool. I'll see you in the next video.